It's that time of the week again, my friends, as Crimson Desert got yet another update recently, and I gotta say, this one I like. How's it going, by the way? Mr. Halton here. Now, let's dive into the new additions, changes, and fixes that came with the 1.13 update. Alright, so first of all, I want you to feast your eyes on this right here. Yes, indeed. So Damien has gotten a new armor set alongside a bunch of other armor sets. Unfortunately, I have not found all of them yet as they are spread out throughout the world, and you can unlock most of these through various challenges and missions. I don't think you can actually find them at vendors because I've checked around at basically every vendor that I have access to, and none of them are selling any of Damien's new outfits. Speaking of outfits, though, she's not the only one who got a bunch of new ones. It's, of course, for Cliff and for Unka as well. Cliff actually got these pretty cool ones that you're seeing right here. And as far as I can tell, these are the Unyielding Hero, the Knight of Carnage, Martial Monk, and Grand General of Demonis. There's apparently a couple of other ones as well that I don't have yet, but these are some of the ones that they have added for Cliff. Now, again, as I don't generally play a lot of Unka, I'm not going to be showcasing any of the outfits here for him. I mostly play as Damien, of course, and of course as Cliff, but yeah, so these are the ones that I've found so far. Now, I don't really know where you unlock this first one. If you've gotten far enough into the game, I would assume this is one of the first outfits you unlock. Now, speaking of outfits and armor, you can now equip Cuckoo armor and outfits as well if you're playing as Unka or Cliff. I'm going to assume that this patch note is saying one name wrong here. I'm guessing that this is supposed to be Damien. Again, I haven't unlocked this yet, but you can equip this as Unka now at least. Again, I'm not really sure if this is a typo and if actually Damien is supposed to be able to equip them as well, but you guys can let me know in the comments below. Now, while we're on the topic of armors and outfits, you should know that you can finally dye your weapons and other outfits that you might not have been able to dye before. Well, at least when I checked it out, I could color my spear here, my beautiful spear, as well as one of the special shields that you get from one of the bosses. And yeah, it looks pretty good. I usually go with this crimson color. I just like red for some reason. I just think it fits the game, especially wink wink. But yeah, so you can dye all of your weapons now, it would seem. I haven't found any weapon yet that I can't dye, so I think this is for all of them. Now, another really cool addition is that you can now actually slide and shoot with your muskets and your pistols. And this was something that obviously was not in the game before. It was with Cliff, you know, when you're using your bow and arrow, but it wasn't for Damien. So now when you're playing as Damien, you can now use muskets and pistols during your slides. Another really cool thing that they've added is that now you can actually enter the Abyss as both Damien and Unka and, you know, complete your puzzles with these characters instead of Cliff if you've gotten tired of using Cliff up there. So yeah, very cool, very nice. I would imagine some of these puzzles are going to be a little easier to do, especially so because Damien is pretty nimble compared to Cliff and Unka. So yeah, I'm going to look forward to completing some of the puzzles that I haven't completed yet using her. Now, in the patch notes, they also say that memory fragments for certain rematchable bosses have changed, but to prevent spoilers, I'm just not going to tell you here exactly what, but I've added the patch notes to the pinned comment below, so you can check it out later if you want to. Another cute little detail here is that they have made it so that your summoned pets will actually now rest together with your character when you go to bed and sleep. Pretty cute. There is also a hide minimap and status option under settings and others, and then gameplay. So I tried this one as well. It definitely helps with some of the immersion, just, you know, having nothing on your screen when you're walking around and doing stuff. So yeah, pretty cool addition, I would say. There's also a new item called the Hunter's Sigil, which apparently allows a bird pet to retrieve prey and gatherable items suited to their specialities when equipped. And if we check the patch notes here, you can see that there are more details about the various armor sets and head pieces. For example, we have 5 pieces of the Tyrannus the Ashen outfit, we have 5 pieces of the Unyielding Hero outfit, 5 pieces of the Knight of Carnage outfit, 3 pieces of the Martial Monk outfit. That one I do have fully unlocked, as you saw before. 2 pieces of the Grand General of Demonis outfit, and then we have new equipment in 16 pieces of armor and 3 pieces of headgear. I'm guessing that is the total new equipment that they're talking about here with the boss equipment. For Damien, there was 8 new pieces of equipment, so 8 new pieces of armor, one of which I've been able to find so far. There are apparently 7 more. And as they say here, this can be obtained through quests, achievements, shops, and other sources. But as I mentioned before, I haven't been able to really find any new outfits for Damien through any of the shops, but I might be missing something here. Also, Unka can now equip most outfits available to Cliff, and Damien can now equip the following boss equipment, which is some of the stuff that you unlocked earlier with Cliff. 5 pieces of the Guardian of Odek outfit, 3 pieces of the Dark Marksman outfit, 1 piece of the Masked Liberator outfit. There's also 4 additional carpet recipes that they've added to the game, which can be purchased from shops. There are special attacks added to Flame Knight, Wyvern Flame, Savage Fang, and Golden Scale Bandits, as well as new recipes for Lightning Bolt, Plate Armor, Scorch Flame Plate Armor, and Frost Cursed Plate Armor. So if you missed any of those items, you can actually craft those now. All right, so now we're going to look at some of the bigger fixes that people have been pining for. So there is the so-called parkour crime bug that has been going around, where if you use the focused aerial roll anywhere near NPCs, the game flagged that as a crime. They've now removed that, so you're not going to be flagged as a criminal as soon as you use the focused aerial roll. There's smoother combat flow, so they also fixed the brief freezing animation that happened whenever you did a jump attack from a really high ledge. And if you use soft lock-on, Axiom Force is now going to snap and fire immediately at your target, instead of feeling, floaty or lagging behind your inputs. Then there is the map and quest cleanup here, as they did some overhaul on the UI and stability. The world map and boss rematches won't randomly crash your game anymore, as it did before to some people. Plus, they also fixed the auto track system, so it stops randomly hijacking your targets and switching to a completely different quest mid-run. And the minimap border will now only show the quest you're actively tracking, which, cuts down some of the map clutter. Some other changes here for Unka and Damien. So first of all, for Unka, there is some of the flight targeting here. They finally fixed the issue where you couldn't designate targets while flying. And, for a character that has a huge aerial kit like Unka, losing your lock-on or not being able to pick, a target while airborne, it just ruins the momentum of your attacks. And then we have Great Hammer finishing blows. And unfortunately, that was a thing with Unka before, where your heavy attacks just for some reason decided to not work. They've fixed this, so your finishing blows no longer, miss when you have the Great Hammer equipped. Then we have Damien here, where she had an issue with her spear skill locking out, specifically Smiting Strike. Now that is not a problem anymore, and you will not be locked out of your core proficiency anymore with your spear. Oh, and then there was the broom exploit, the one where you use Flame Rush to zoom across the map. Well, yeah, that exploit is now gone. So no more super speed, unfortunately. All right, that was basically all the bigger additions and changes and fixes I could find. Let me know if I missed something here that was pretty big for this patch. I've been exploring as much as I can for the few hours that the patch has actually been out. And do let everybody know if you've actually been able to find where the various outfits for Damien and Cliff can be found, and for Unka as well. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll actually try to pin you guys' comments if I can. I think, I can only pin one comment at a time, but let everybody know so we can find these outfits together, because everybody's on this treasure hunt right now, but because the world is so huge and there are so many things to do, it's probably going to take a little while before everybody knows where to find all of the cool new additions and the cool new outfits. As always, remember to subscribe for more Crimson Desert, and I'll see you guys in the next big update video. Mr. Alton, signing off.